The sun rose gently over the bustling Tema Fishing Harbour, glistening on the waters that have sustained generations of Ghanaian fishers. That morning, however, the harbor was not just alive with the usual rhythm of boats returning from the Atlantic. It had become the symbolic stage for a historic moment in West Africa's journey toward protecting one of its greatest treasures, the ocean. Before we dive deeper into today's update, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support is key to helping us grow and reach more viewers like you. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss out on exciting updates. The European Union, in partnership with Ghana's Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development and the Fisheries Committee for the West Central Gulf of Guinea, had officially inaugurated the €59 million West African Sustainable Ocean Program, known as WASOP. It was more than a ceremony. It was the beginning of a new chapter in the fight to preserve marine life, restore balance to coastal ecosystems, and protect the livelihoods of thousands of people who depend on the sea. As guests gathered, the atmosphere was filled with a sense of anticipation and hope. Fishermen in colorful attire mingled with diplomats, government officials, and regional partners, each aware that the event signaled something much larger than a funding announcement. This was a call to action, a pledge to safeguard an ecosystem that sustains millions across the region. When Rune Skinnebach, the European Union ambassador to Ghana, took the stage, his words carried the weight of both responsibility and optimism. He spoke not as a distant diplomat, but as someone deeply aware of the shared humanity that binds communities around the ocean. With the vast expanse of the Atlantic behind him, he declared that the WASOP initiative represents a powerful collaborative effort to address the urgent challenges threatening the maritime sector, chief among them the crisis of illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. Illegal fishing has long been one of the most damaging practices affecting West African waters. It strips nations of billions of dollars in revenue each year, depletes fish stocks, and devastates the livelihoods of legitimate fishers who rely on honest work to feed their families. But beyond the economics, it also erodes ecosystems that have taken centuries to form, pushing marine biodiversity toward collapse. Ambassador Skinnebach made it clear that this challenge cannot be confronted by one country alone. It requires regional cooperation, political will, and the right technology to monitor and manage what happens on the water. The West African Sustainable Ocean Program, he explained, is designed to do exactly that, create a coordinated regional strategy to restore sustainability and ensure that the oceans continue to give life rather than suffer from exploitation. The ambassador's words echoed across the harbor. This is one of my first public engagements, so it feels wonderfully symbolic. It tells you where my priorities lie, and those of the European Union, in partnership, in sustainability, and in our shared future. The sincerity of that statement resonated deeply with those in attendance. It was a reminder that the health of the ocean is not merely an environmental issue, it's a human one. Drawing from his Danish heritage, he reminded the gathering that the ocean is our common heritage and its health, our shared responsibility. These words painted a powerful image of unity, a global recognition that while oceans may separate continents, they also connect humanity through shared dependence and destiny. For decades, the waters of the Gulf of Guinea have been among the most productive fishing zones in the world, providing food security and income for millions. Yet, they have also been under siege. Unregulated fishing vessels, often operating at night without proper licensing, sweep through the seas, capturing massive amounts of fish and leaving destruction in their wake. Local fishers who go out in small canoes with limited gear are left struggling to compete. Over time, these imbalances have turned thriving communities into fragile ones, and where economic uncertainty and dwindling catches have forced many to abandon fishing altogether. It is this crisis that WASOP aims to reverse. Through the €59 million investment, the European Union and its partners are setting in motion a transformative effort that will strengthen monitoring, control, and surveillance systems across West Africa's coastal nations. These systems will enable authorities to track fishing activities in real time, identify illegal vessels, and enforce maritime laws more effectively. Beyond enforcement, the program also focuses on building capacity within local institutions, training officers, empowering coastal communities, and fostering regional collaboration that ensures no country stands alone in the fight against illegal exploitation. The vision is clear: to protect marine resources, not just for this generation, but for countless generations yet to come. At the ceremony, the Minister of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Amelia Arthur, reinforced this message with passion and conviction. Her words reflected both pride and urgency. The success of WASOP, she said, relies on our capacity to work in unison, across borders, sectors, and communities, ensuring that our oceans are not only protected for today's challenges, but preserved for future generations. Her statement captured the spirit of the initiative, a spirit of collaboration, resilience, and foresight. She went on to explain that the choice of the Tema Fishing Harbour as the venue for the inauguration was deeply symbolic. We chose this venue so that everyone will understand that fisheries is life, fisheries is culture, fisheries is livelihood, fisheries is an ecosystem. It was a poetic yet profound reminder that the ocean is woven into the very fabric of human existence. The harbor itself seemed to come alive with that message. The smell of the sea, the rhythm of waves hitting the shore, and the sight of wooden canoes painted in bright colors all formed a vivid backdrop to the words being spoken. Fishermen who had spent their lives battling the unpredictability of the ocean now listened to promises of a future built on sustainability, fairness, and respect for nature. For many, the announcement of WASOP offered not just hope, but a sense of dignity that their struggles and sacrifices were finally being recognized on a global scale. But beyond the symbolism, the practical impact of the West African Sustainable Ocean Program will be far-reaching. It is expected to strengthen the institutional framework that governs maritime activities, enhance the collection and sharing of data, and improve the overall management of marine ecosystems. With better monitoring systems, governments can ensure that fishing quotas are respected, protected zones are enforced, and resources are used responsibly. This means healthier fish populations, stronger coastal economies, and a more stable environment. For Ghana in particular, the initiative could not come at a better time. The nation's fishing industry has long been a cornerstone of its coastal economy, providing employment for over 2.5 million people. However, years of overfishing, pollution, and climate change have placed immense pressure on the sector. In some fishing communities, catches have dropped by as much as 50% over the past decade, forcing families to seek alternative sources of income. The WASOP aims to reverse this decline by supporting the development of a sustainable blue economy, one that values conservation as much as production. The European Union's involvement in this effort is not accidental. Europe has its own history of confronting the dangers of overfishing, and through decades of policy reforms, it has learned the importance of cooperation, transparency, and technological innovation in managing marine resources. By sharing that experience with West African nations, the EU hopes to create a model of partnership that transcends borders, a partnership based not on charity, but on mutual respect and shared interest in the planet's well-being. Ambassador Skinnebach's emphasis on partnership reflected this philosophy perfectly. He reminded everyone that the oceans do not recognize political boundaries. The waves that leave the coast of Ghana eventually touch the shores of Europe and beyond. What affects one affects all. The success of WASOP will depend on continued collaboration between governments, local communities, and regional organizations. It will require not only the deployment of advanced technology, but also a shift in mindset, one that views ocean management as a collective duty rather than a competitive race. The project's emphasis on regional integration means that neighboring countries within the West Central Gulf of Guinea, such as Togo, Benin, Nigeria, and Côte d'Ivoire, will work closely together to ensure the sustainability of shared waters. This unity is essential, as illegal fishing often operates across borders, exploiting weaknesses in national jurisdictions. A united front will send a strong message that the region is serious about protecting its marine wealth. As the ceremony at Tema came to an end, the mood was one of cautious optimism. The fishermen who had gathered near the shore discussed among themselves how these new measures might affect their daily lives. For many, the hope was that the enforcement of fair practices would finally level the playing field, allowing small-scale fishers to compete fairly and sustain their livelihoods. For others, the focus was on the next generation, ensuring that their children would still have fish to catch and an ocean to depend on. The symbolism of the moment extended beyond the speeches and formalities. It was a visual reminder of how interconnected humanity truly is. The EU, through WASOP, had not come merely to fund a project but to join hands with West Africa in defending the oceans that unite the world. The message was clear. Sustainability is not an option, it is a necessity. Protecting the oceans is not just about saving fish, it's about securing food, jobs, culture, and the future of entire communities. As the waves continued to roll gently against the shore, the significance of the day lingered in the air. The launch of WASOP marked more than just the start of a program. It marked the rebirth of hope for countless coastal communities across West Africa. It demonstrated what can be achieved when nations and partners work together with a shared purpose. It underscored the truth that the ocean, vast and powerful as it is, remains fragile in the face of human greed and neglect. But with unity, technology, and commitment, that fragility can be transformed into strength. And so, as the crowd dispersed and the sun began to dip over the horizon, reflecting golden light over the Atlantic, one couldn't help but feel that a new tide had turned, a tide of cooperation, awareness, and renewal. The ocean, which has given so much to humankind, was finally beginning to receive the protection it deserves. The West African Sustainable Ocean Program is not just a policy or a partnership. It is a promise that the waves that crash upon the shores of Ghana, Togo, and Nigeria will continue to nourish life, inspire culture, and sustain generations. It is a promise that the ocean, our shared heritage, will remain alive, vibrant, and protected for all time.
If today is your first time watching this channel or you are returning to this channel for the exciting content, please subscribe to the channel for more educative and developmental projects across Ghana and Africa as a whole. Do you want to know about the state of a project in Africa? Then make sure to like and comment the name of the project you would like us to talk about and its current state.